Hey replay viewers, so sorry that you missed us live, but you can always send me a tweet if you have any questions or use the contact tab on the blog. That's humorhomemaking.com, and we will respond to your questions if you have any. So thank you for joining, and sorry that you can't comment, but I'm super glad you can still tap the screen and leave snowflakes because I used the winter hashtag. Hey Gina and Julia. So I should start using a with berry hashtag. That would be funny. So sorry, that was an up close and personal shot of me, and there we have it.
Hi,
sorry I flipped that, guys. I shouldn't have probably done that, but that's okay. Yeah, it's an older one. This one right here.
I think they've redone the cover. That is an older one.
Yeah, because this is the older version, so we've had it for a long time. I don't even remember what's in there. So, hey guys, you have the new cover. So, you know, we're old school and stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you for inviting followers, guys. That's super nice. Trying to get that to where Barry, since he's the one that's going to be talking. I'm a little brain dead.
I'll just hide
Up in here. So, hello from Arizona. We are in Southwest Virginia, because we're from Virginia, not to be confused with West Virginia, which sometimes happens. So,
yeah.
Thank you for the hearts already, guys. We are Stacy and Barry, and we are from humorhomemaking.com, where we blog about home management and how to manage your house without
losing your mind.
Without doldrum. Is doldrum a word?
Doldrums is a word.
No,
Doldrum. I don't know.
Okay.
Laminate all the things. Yeah.
That's my hashtag, laminate all the things. Yeah. That's my best hashtag. Okay, so you guys asked very specifically if we would talk about how to get out of debt quickly. So that's what Barry is here to talk with you all today. And I am here to be the comedic relief as usual, because it's been a rough day here today.
It's been bad. It's been bad.
All of ours are sick. And,
woo!
Yeah.
Not very good. We're not excited about that at all. And
so,
we probably are going to be having it tomorrow or something. Woo.
Yeah. So, Barry's here to talk about how to pay down debt, and we will be taking questions now, or thank you, Melanie. It's not very fun when your little ones are sick. Your Tiffany's chocolate heart, that's my favorite heart. Okay, so, yes, so here we go. And he is going to, and I'm going to jabber. So, that's about what I do around here. Thank you, Gina. Okay.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to talk about 5 simple steps. Now, it's not some big system. It's not some easy.
Simple doesn't mean easy.
Exactly.
Okay.
What we're talking about is 5 things that you can do that if you do them one right after the other and repeat over and over and over again, and ooh, you can see my monkey shirt now. If you do these 5 things, these simple, not necessarily easy, but simple steps, then you can get out of debt, and you can do so quickly. I've talked about this in a lot of different blog posts. I did a course on it. I've done several things. I call it 5 simple steps and all the tools you need to get out of debt. It's one of those kinds of things where if you will do it and keep it simple, then you can get out of debt. And if you notice, it was get out of debt quickly, be the tortoise. You know, it didn't take you an hour to get into debt, probably, and it's going to take a little more to get out. But let's go through these things, and they're pretty obvious.
But by the way, the reason I called it that is because you might be able to get out of debt quickly, but you might not. So be the tortoise, who instead of he wasn't worried about being quick. He was just worried about getting to the end.
Run the race and get to the finish. That's true.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay.
He didn't quit.
So the very first thing. And these are pretty obvious, most of them. One of them will probably surprise you. But the very first thing that I tell people to do when I coach them and telling them, hey, let's get out of debt, cut expenses. Now, let's keep this really simple. This is one of those things where you get out every single bill that you pay, every single one, not just the things that you say, oh, well, I could cut. People always say, well, you hate cable, or you hate cell phones. All I'm saying is look at every single bill that you have coming into your house. look at every single line on that bill, 1, 2, 3, every little thing, and say, okay, do I need to be paying these things? Are these things that I need to be doing?
He's really good at that.
And if the answer is yes, then keep paying them. Or
electricity, that's pretty important.
Yeah, but you could consider, I don't know, turning down the heat a couple of degrees or all those kinds of things that might save you a little money.
That.
See, she wouldn't do that.
No.
But again, look at every single thing that you pay as a bill and look, can you cut it, reduce it, maybe cut it out entirely? Those kinds of things are really, really, really simple. Bill creep, that's good.
I'm with you, Karen.
When you look at your cable bill, for example, or your internet bill or cable or whatever, what you'll find is they may put you on this little promotional rate for a while, and after so many months, like you say, it starts to creep up. Well, call them and say, listen, it keeps going up. This isn't the way it's supposed to work.
Sorry.
Fix it.
Yep.
So if there's a bill that you're paying just because you're getting it, then look at it. See if you can hopefully reduce it. That's pretty simple, right?
Yes, but see, then there are people like me who, when I'm cold, I cannot function. And so I like curl up in the fetal position. So if
do some jazzercise, because that would be awesomely hilarious.
If I'm cold
and warm you up,
I shut down. So I'm not one of those people who would. Yeah, I can't function when I'm cold.
It's called hypothermia, and yeah, you can die from that. But I don't think you're going to die from hypothermia if it's like 68 degrees in the house, right? I mean,
68 I can do. Less than that, I don't do very well.
Yeah, when we were first married and living in our townhouse, the heat was like on 67 or 68, something like that. And she would freeze. I would come home and she would be balled up on the couch. Just couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. She just there. And she was in this state.
Yep. I'm still there.
Yeah. Anyway, we got off topic a little bit. So, step 1, cut expenses. That's pretty simple, but it's something you really need to do. Just look. Pay attention to all the bills you're paying, and look, do you really need to be paying them?
Starbucks is not a bill.
Are you saying to keep doing Starbucks?
No, I'm saying I like Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh, okay. But cut expenses. That's pretty simple.
Some people might consider Starbucks to be an expense.
Maybe. Well, again, everything you're paying, the bills is the easiest thing to look at. But
Melanie, I know why you laughing.
Somebody loves some Starbucks?
Melanie.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah. So you will be surprised at how much money you can save and thus pay toward debt if you will have this awesome thing of not paying expenses you don't need to pay. Okay, number 2. Maximize income. Now, this again is a fairly obvious thing, but
I think a lot of people currently refer to this as hustle.
Hustle.
A side hustle.
Yeah. There's absolutely nothing wrong when you are minimizing your expenses to try to make some extra money to raise the income. So you have less money you're spending on other things you can throw toward debt, and now you have more income that you can throw toward debt. So that's the second thing. So, now, how can you do that? Well,
how we did it was, sorry, I had to hiccup. We took on, they're used to that. I do that every show.
Sorry, excuse me for just a second.
We took on side jobs, and because it wasn't something that we knew was going to be forever, it's just temporary. So it's not, you can't think, oh, I can't take a job. I'll never see my kids again. You might not see your kids for a couple months here and there. But, you know.
The goal is to get
side
out.
Jobs? Barry did some construction on the side and some woodworking, and I did a lot of extra speaking and blog work.
I did some web design. If you're hourly, you can ask for some overtime. If you're salaried, then you can hopefully work your normal schedule and then just see about doing, I hate to say a second job, but you can clean out stuff and do a yard sale. Exactly. It doesn't have to be a job. In fact, my brother was asking me the other day about how he could maybe get a second job to help pile up some cash. I'm like, dude, you already work enough hours. Why don't you just find something you can do in your spare time that would pay more?
Yeah, and there's something that you do, and I've said this before, and I've heard Crystal say it. There's something you do that somebody needs.
The biggest thing I told my brother, and this is not a skill that a lot of people have, but he loves looking at cars, looking for cars, helping people find a car for shopping. Help people find a car and charge a finder's fee. I think that's a very valuable service, and I know a lot of people that hate to car shop and would pay for that. So there you go. Childcare, yard work, run errands for those are all good ideas. So, man, yeah, perfect. Anything that you can do that will make you some money.
Then you got poor people like me who only sew their fingers together. I need you, Gwenny.
So, there you go. So there's something you can do that will earn you some extra money. Now remember,
Yep.
your goal is to do this short term to maximize. That's why I use that word. You're maximizing your income short term and intense focus, hustle, if you will. You don't want to kill yourself. This is not a permanent action. This is I'm going to do this for a little while so I can be in the best shape I can be in to get out of debt.
How do you find the people? This is in Crystal's book. I believe it's in Crystal's book. Tell people. If you don't tell people what you're doing or ask people what they need, then they don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, because Barry, he's on Facebook and active on social media. So he posts on Facebook, or we might post in our homeschool group, hey, we can do this. I see people post on my homeschool group all the time, services and stuff that they offer, that other people need, house cleaning, babysitting, anything like that. And just post it where other people can see it. And if people know that you're doing that or that you need the extra work, you know, they can hire you. But if people don't know that you need that, they're not just going to randomly call up Gwen and say, hey, you feel like sewing something today? They're just not going to.
If you don't tell people that you're trying to do something to earn the extra money, now don't badger or pester, but hey, if you just happen to say, hey, I'm trying to earn some extra money to get out of debt. I can do A, B, C, and D. Anybody need some help?
The worst they can say is no.
Yeah, and so if you do that on social media and they get, if that drives them insane, I can get over it, whatever.
Yeah, but I would say use social media to get the word out that you're doing things.
Absolutely, that's one of the easy ways to do it. So, cut your expenses, maximize the income. That has a double effect, which you can hopefully, all that extra goes into that.
Hair clips.
Okay.
See, look, Gwen.
Number 3. Are we ready to move on to number 3?
Sure, 3.
So Andy is 3, and so you ask him how old he is, and he goes, and he's got it. He's got 3. So number 3. Now this is one that won't apply to everybody, but it's an important one. Get current on all of your bills. If you're past due on anything, hopefully you're not, but if you are, then it's eating you alive with late fees and extra finance charges and all the credit score hits and all that mess.
Get rid of fees.
Okay, that works. Get rid of those fees. That's true. Because if you are paying bills late, then you're paying a lot to do so. The average late fee is like $30, $35. It's ridiculously high.
Thank you, Julia.
And if you have a $15 to $20 minimum payment and you miss it and you have a $35 late fee, that math just doesn't work.
And believe it or not, that happens a lot.
It happens a lot. I used to work in the credit card industry, and people would consistently pay their bill 2, 3, 4 days late. Just, oh, well, I didn't think... Oh, come on. Please don't do that. Don't be lazy. And some people say, well, I get paid here and the bill's due, but call and change your due date. That's simple. Most of the companies, not all, but most of them will change your due date. Work with them. Don't pay late fees. Don't pay unnecessary fees. So get up to date on all the bills that you're past due on.
I pay a lot of late library fees.
Yeah, we do support the library.
I consider that my donation to library awareness.
We probably pay, what, $2 or $3 a month? That's not terrible.
That's
not that much.
Yeah.
Not that much. Anyway, but the reason I say instead of just paying fees, avoid the fees that get current on everything, is because that is a strategy. That's a step. Because how do you go about doing that? If you're behind on 5 or 6 bills, what in the world are you supposed to do? Are you supposed to say, well, pick one? What's the strategy? Well, what's the one that you can pay now? If you look in your hand and you have $50 and you have one bill that's 20, another one that's 20, and another one that's 70, well, let's see here. Pay the 2 20s, and that gives you a little bit left to work on the 70, but you can give those folks a call and say, listen, I'm not going to make it. Can you work with me this month? Think about it. Don't be emotional in so much as you be logical. I hope that makes sense. Okay? All right, so ready to move on to step 4?
Mm-hmm.
Are we sure?
Yeah.
Okay, so quick quiz. 1.
Cut expenses.
2.
Side hustle.
3.
Quit paying fees.
Yeah, get current.
Yeah.
4. Dave Ramsey's debt snowball. Because even though, and that's partially why that's there, even though there's all this math that says the debt snowball is wrong, it's the best way I've ever found to help people get out of debt. The debt snowball is as follows for those of you who don't know. Forget about interest rates. Forget about minimum payments. Forget about everything except how much you owe. Look at and order everything smallest to largest based on the total amount that you owe. So if you have a bill that's $500, a bill that's $700, and a bill that's $1,000, that's the order you pay them. Okay?
And why do we do that, Barry?
We do that
because money is emotional.
Money is emotional. We're trying to fix the behavior.
So
and
if you see one bill go away, you get excited.
Yes, because I'm trying to get rid of the bill. I'm not trying to reduce it. I'm trying to make it go away. So now the math nerds are saying, no, but you're going to pay more over time. Listen, if you were really doing a bunch of math, you wouldn't have gotten in some of the credit card and other messes that people talk to me that have that excuse try to give. People who know math don't pay 30% interest. They just don't. Did I offend anybody? If so, sorry. Not really. Not sorry. Sorry.
No. Yeah, being the tortoise is better. But as a woman, like if I have a stack of or as someone who doesn't really care about math, I don't math is not my thing. But if I had a stack of 8 bills and then all of a sudden I only had a stack of 6 bills because I paid off 2 teeny ones, then that looks a whole lot better to me than having 8.
Now think
and
about
I don't really
this for
care
a second.
about the numbers.
To use her example, you had 8 bills, now you have 6. All right, you lose your job tomorrow. That means 6 people are calling you instead of 8. I don't care how small it is. I want the bill to go away as fast as possible.
Sorry, I found a toy Band-Aid in the floor. It was under my foot.
Well, hopefully you won't have any injuries. But if you do have any injuries during the scope, you're all set. Good to know.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, but think about it. If you have fewer bills calling, life's good. I'm going to answer that question there. Will credit card companies ever lower your interest rates? You call them. Absolutely. I used to work for a credit card company, as I said.
Yes.
It depends on the situation. If you're past due, they're much more likely to work with you than if you're not. If you're not past due, it depends on the company. But basically, you call and you say, listen, I'm trying to pay this thing off. Do you have anything at all that you can do to reduce my rate? Sometimes they'll try to sell you on some sort of promotion. Sometimes they'll try to say all this. Sometimes the answer is just no. Well, I don't normally condone people moving a balance from one card to another, but if you really, really are struggling with the interest, that's an option. Move that balance to somewhere else that has a 0% for a while. Now, that doesn't mean you get a buy on paying it.
Yeah.
It means that you are saving some interest for a little while.
You still pay. Still pay.
So don't cheat. Don't say, I've got some breathing room now. No, every extra penny during this process gets put toward the debt, because remember, we're trying to get out of debt fast here. Okay? So step 4 is all about paying attention to how much you owe total, order them smallest to largest, and attack the smallest one. We didn't get into that. Attack the smallest one with every extra penny you can throw at it while paying minimum payments on all the others.
And that's why we said be the tortoise. Because I'm just picking at you because you're here, Melanie. But the tortoise, it will not always feel like you're paying down debt quickly.
Absolutely. In fact, a lot of times it'll feel like it's taking forever. You look at that statement and you're like, really? Really?
And it's not really about doing it quickly. It's about doing it consistently. I can't even talk after 7 o'clock.
It's okay. We love you.
Be consistent. So, yes.
So,
one small credit card.
1, 2,
Yay,
3,
go,
4, and what's next? 5. Step number 5.
Actually,
Prager's brain.
Actually, that's not it at all. I'm pretty much brain dead after 7, even when I'm not pregnant.
That's okay.
So, step 5.
Step 5. This is the one most people don't think about. Make a phone call every time you're ready to pay off a bill. Not when you're ready to make a payment, but when you're ready to pay it off.
That means 100%.
That means if the bill says, $200 is left, and you have $200 in your hand, pick up the phone, and don't just send them a check. Pick up a phone and say, hey, I'm getting ready to pay this thing off. Would you be able to maybe waive the last month or 2 of interest? Or if there are fees on there, do you think if I'm ready to pay this off today, you could just waive the last couple of months worth of whatever fee might have been on there? If you're past due, hey, I'm ready to get rid of this thing. Will you knock off some of the late fees? And the answer about 60% of the time is yes. I mean that. I know that from experience, both when I worked in collections and when I worked for other credit card things, and also when I was doing counseling.
And then get it in writing.
Yes, absolutely. When somebody says, I'm really trying to pay these bills off. I don't care if you're up to date. I don't care if you have every penny in your hand to pay it off. Call and just say, hey, I'm ready to pay this thing off. Will you waive a couple of months worth of interest for me if I do so today? It's just like when we are going to go pay a medical bill. We say, how much of a discount do I get
We do that every
when
time.
I pay cash? It's that simple, okay? It's that simple.
So we get discounts on birth.
Yeah.
Yep.
We got a discount on Annie. That was the first time that I ever got one. I called and said, I'm ready to pay for my daughter. How much? And they gave me a total. I said, if I pay cash today, how much? And they gave me 20% off, no questions asked.
And they let us take her home.
Yeah, it was cool. She was ours.
They didn't come back and get her or nothing.
Some days I wish. No, I don't.
No,
I'm just kidding.
You can't return them. There's no receipt.
No, and plus then you don't get to take the tax deduction, and that's an important thing this time of year. So anyway, step 5 is make a phone call. All right, make a phone call when you're ready to pay off a debt. And now some people say, well, what if I don't quite have enough? Maybe I owe $200 and I only have $180. Make the phone call, because if you make that phone call and you say, listen, I know that I owe $200. I'd love to pay it off. Ask the same question. If I do that today, can you waive any fees or whatever? Well, maybe they offer to take off $10, and you say, you know, I've only got $180. Is that can we make that enough? Can we do it for $180? It's a negotiation. Now, the Bible is very clear. Only the wicked borrow and does not repay. I'm not asking you to go and try to take money away that you borrowed. However, if they'll waive some fees or some interest or whatever, that not what you borrowed, but on top of that, nothing wrong with that, okay? So don't try to just get out of paying money that you borrowed, okay? We're not trying to cheat.
And how would you suggest people go about getting that in writing, Barry?
Well, in today's modern age, you can usually get that via email. Ooh, and that's wonderful and easy.
Not a fax.
Who even uses a fax anymore?
I don't even know how to use a fax.
Who uses it?
I don't know. It was just a suggestion.
And snail mail? Oh, come on, really? You know, offer to pay it online the moment they send you an email, or that they show online the updated balance
that
shows the discount.
Forever and ever. Amen.
Keep it. So anyway, there's the 5 what I call simple steps, because none of those are really hard. They just take time and energy and effort for you to do them. Sit down. They're not complicated. You can do them. All right? So step 1, quiz. Step 1.
Where's the Ottoman Empire?
Not here.
Oh, okay.
Okay, should I cancel cards or leave them open after you... When you cancel your credit cards, meaning you close them...
Oh! Well, that would make sense now, wouldn't it? Okay.
When you cancel your cards, it will, on a short-term basis, it will hurt your credit score. I don't care what your credit score is, so I say, close that baby. If you're done with debt, kill it.
It's in Turkey.
Yes, it is. I remember that now. Thank you for that reminder.
Thank you, Lisa.
Now, if somebody said, where's Turkey? I'd be like, near the gravy? I don't know. I don't remember. I'm terrible with geography.
We bought a map.
We'll use it.
Yep.
We need to read that. So anyway, that person sidetracked us. The troll worked. Shame on them.
I didn't know it was a troll.
Anyway.
Okay.
So.
You didn't ask to see.
Yes, you can cancel. Yes, you can cancel cards. If you're done with them, who cares? It's all good. So, questions? Turkey. Oh, come on, people. What you got?
They probably don't have a whole lot. It's 9 o'clock. They're probably brain dead like I am.
Yeah, me too.
So, yeah. What week is it? Oh, yes. Next week, someone asked if you would talk about insurance. Can you list the steps again? Life insurance. Someone wanted Barry to talk about life insurance. I'm sorry, my kids are sick too. Oh, we don't know the sex of the baby. Will you list the 5 steps?
5 steps.
Yeah.
Cut expenses to the bone. Get rid of everything you don't have to pay. Maximize income.
Side hustle.
Yep. Do whatever you can to earn extra money that's legal and moral. Okay? I shouldn't have to say that, but I will. Number 3.
No street corners.
Mind in the gutter. Number 3. You said no fees. I say get current on everything. But yes, get current on everything. Avoid the fees. Get rid of all the gotcha stuff, okay? Number 4, Dave Ramsey's Debt Snowball. And number 5, make a phone call when you're ready to pay off a bill. Not just pay it for the month, but pay it off. Okay? Do I know anything about taxes? I hate taxes.
We hate taxes.
I know a little bit.
Somebody asked, how do you get other people to go along with it when you're paying off debt, like gifts and stuff? It doesn't really matter what other people think. It's your money and you're getting out of debt. And so if they get upset with you, that's okay. Ask them if they'll pay off all your bills and they'll probably shut up.
If you tell them, hey, I didn't buy anything this year because guess what? Next year I'm going to double up. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. All right. All right.
I
That's
got
simple.
one.
So, can
Wonder
I
if he
claim
was-
my daughter half the year and she claim herself the rest? I don't believe so, no. I might be wrong, but I don't think so. I think you've got to claim her or don't. Somebody asked a question about rent. Do you want to throw that up there again?
I didn't see a question about rent.
There was one about rent.
I got distracted by the S word.
You're afraid to say sex?
No.
Oh, okay.
Wrong answer, Barry.
Sorry. I mean, go to your local IRS professional and ask them that, okay? That way we can see step by step of how they do it.
I think she's talking to somebody else.
Okay.
What?
Is it better to refinance a vehicle if trying to lower payment? I would say no. Unless you have a really terrible rate, then I would not. I would not refinance. I would consider selling. If you're not ready to pay off a vehicle within a year to 2 years at most, at absolute most, and you're really trying to get out of debt, I would very strongly try to get out of debt. Whoa, 12%. That's terrible. Wow.
I'm sorry, we're not very flowery here. We could have said, "Oh, that's rough, man."
You either have really terrible credit or somebody took you for a ride, and either way, I'm very sorry. That's sad. Yeah, 12% is really bad. You can do half that on a used car easily. So I would very strongly consider selling the vehicle and buying something else if you're not upside down or if you're close. And then if you can't, I would consider refinancing it if you love the car and want to keep it. I have a 401k but can't pay extra on it. What do you suggest? Well, why can't you pay extra on it? That would be, if you do a budget and everything works out and it says I can't afford to pay extra in my 401k, then it is what it is. Until you can change the math, income minus savings minus expenses equals 0, until you can change something in that math formula, there's not a whole lot you can do.
Bad credit equals high. Yes.
Yes, because interest is a reflection of risk, and if you've made bad choices in the past or not performed well, then you're a higher risk to the creditors, and there's nothing really you can do about that except behave. And over time, it'll fix itself. Sorry.
But you can sell that car.
Yes, but you don't want to necessarily have to walk, so, don't sell the car and go buy another one at 12% interest, okay? Don't do that, okay?
A donkey. I said that
donkey?
once. I said something about buying a donkey once on a scope before, and it was. I said I said something about if you couldn't afford a Mercedes, maybe you should be riding a donkey. It was funny. Now I don't remember the context of why I said that.
That's pretty funny, but random, super random.
So,
what would be a good interest rate for? It depends on all kinds of different factors, but I would say at this point in life, if you're paying 6, that's really high. You can do way better than that most of the time. Now, I haven't checked car rates in a while, but I think 6 is pushing it for a used car.
And Dave would say 0.
Well, I would say 0.
Buy a beater.
I would say 0, and I have a chapter in my book that specifically addresses how to break the cycle of car payments. And one of the things that I talk about in there is, well, you could just drive a beater for a really long time. Drive it, and while you're doing that, just save. I mean, it's that simple.
Leases is like 2 to 3%.
Yeah, you can get 0, 1, 2 is pretty normal on a new car. 4, 5, 6 is 6 is the absolute high end that I can think of for a used car.
We do recommend to buy used.
Yes, there's no reason that I can see that you would buy a new vehicle because
of
depreciation will kick your butt. Yep.
So, oh yay! Way to go, Lisa.
What did she say?
They're paying theirs off this winter.
Woohoo! 2 months away from paying off student loans. Should I call and see if they'll drop some interest? Student loans, probably they won't, but absolutely.
Can't hurt to ask.
The worst thing they'll say is no. The reason that student loans are not very flexible is because usually with a student loan, it can't be bankrupted, first off, and they know that. And number 2, they pretty much got you no matter what, so they're not usually very flexible. Okay. A decent car to buy used, honestly, it depends on what your driving habits are. You'll overpay for certain vehicles, like for instance, Toyota pickup trucks hold their value forever and ever, amen. Some of the Hondas, some of the Toyotas in general do, but I will tell you that I know a lot of people who drive older Honda Accords and Toyota Camrys. They're good, reliable cars that last a long time, and if they're well taken care of, then life's good.
And here's the point where I glaze over. What?
I have a lot of people I talk to as well that drive Ford Taurus. I have a Ford Taurus. I've had to spend some money on it, but it's been a decent car overall. But I've had to spend a lot of money on it off and on actually. So yeah, Toyota and Honda. I've driven both and I like them.
Time.
Yeah, they're generally known to last a long time.
Yeah.
Did you have a funeral for your Tercel?
Yep. See, it's Honda. Yep.
Honda's good. We have had Toyotas, and I killed one of those. We have a Honda currently, and I had an Acura, which is similar, and loved them. So, good stuff. Anything else? Then my call to you is to go forth and get out of debt with 5 simple steps. Go do it.
And here's where you can find us, /me, mostly me. And I throw you to Barry whenever I don't know the answer. So, especially if you ask me questions about interest and stuff, I'm just like,
she loses interest
over here. So I'm like, hey, here's one for you. If you have a question for me about meatloaf, I can take care of that. But
we are debt free. We can't afford debt. I love that. That's good. I like that a lot.
My skin looks. It has to be the lighting. It has to be the lighting. But
what about my skin? No, I'm just kidding.
Thank you. It's the lighting.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I love you guys, but I'm really tired. So, yay! I hope you are. And please, anytime you guys pay off debt, we love to hear that. So, you can email us or tell us on here.
We'll celebrate with you.
So, yeah, we really like that. And then Barry has this jar at his work that whenever he counsels people and they cut up their credit cards, they give them to him, and he's accumulating credit cards in a mason jar.
Cut up credit cards are awesome. I had somebody send me a Christmas card.
People mail them to us in the mail.
Yep, they sent me a Christmas card with all their cut up credit cards. It was awesome.
So that's that's his decoration at work.
Some people look at it sort of funny, but then I just ask them if they want to add any cards to it. They usually stop bothering me.
They actually kind of look pretty all stacked in there in a jar. They don't look that bad.
Anyway.
And I want to scope tomorrow about kids and sleep, so it should be somewhat comical.
And she's saying that probably because she's not going to get any sleep tonight after the kids being sick.
And then, but I don't know when that will be. But we are actually going to talk about some sleeping things that have worked for us. And Karen's texting me. That means she's not watching, Karen.
Ooh.
Busted. Okay. I hope you guys have a good evening, and I will be sometime tomorrow. But like I told you guys, if I don't get on, don't think automatically that she's had that baby. Oh, yes, she is. Does my baby? No, he doesn't. But they're sick, so they don't sleep well when they're sick. So just because I don't hop on doesn't mean that I've had a baby. Just hop on over on Instagram. I'm at Humorous Homemaking.
We're going to do a live Periscope during labor, by the way.
He is lying through his teeth. That will not be happening. So.
Depends on who has the phone.
When am I due? Sometime in March.
I would get murdered. I would just get murdered.
I would kill him.
It would be really funny if I survived it.
He would not survive.
Yeah, I was going to say, but the odds are slim.
I would pretty much kill him.
Yeah.
So
we could Periscope from the hospital though afterward.
No.
Not
you
even
guys,
a couple. Oh, come on.
No one will know until I'm back home.
I would come to your funeral.
Yeah. So you guys have a good night. I'll try to be back tomorrow. I have to go answer Karen's texts now.
And I have to go drink some tea.
Tea makes me want to yak. You guys have a good weekend, and we'll talk to you later. Remember, you can always find us on Twitter or on the blog at humorhomemaking.com. And remember that in the walk of life, it's only too late if you're dead.